Hey there everybody, and welcome back to Sasquatch Speaks. This is Sasquatch, otherwise known as Gavisas. Welcome you all once again to this dark little corner of the internet, which we all do share together. In today's episode, continuing on, just kind of doing some lighthearted stuff. Well, hopefully lighthearted stuff. I don't know. Everything I try and get into seems to take a rather quick and dramatic turn to dark and depressing. So I do apologize for that. I don't mean to be that sort of person, just kind of am. Also, in case you hear weird things in the background on this episode, I am currently trying to work out some guest spots for the Triple Car podcast, and my way of doing that is through Skype. So you may hear random typing in the background while I do this, because I am running out of time to do my videos for today, because this is a shared computer and I do not have continuous access to it at all times, and so I have to get everything done at once. Anyway, moving into today's topic. You ever have one of those moments where you just have this really weird thought, and it just makes sense and you can't get it out of your head? I had one of those yesterday, as I was wrapping up, uploading yesterday's video. I was just kind of taking stock of all the stuff that I do, and I do quite words, things, stuff. I do participate in a great many things and initiate others. Triple Cart podcast, this channel, my business, everything that I do at my church, and a lot of other things that I do just in my community around this area. I do a lot of stuff. But as I was evaluating everything, I'm like, okay, well, when I do this, or I work on the computer, or I record the Triple Cart podcast, or play video games, whatever else it is that I am doing here in this room, that involves my arms, involves my voice, and all the things that are connected with doing that, so like lungs and like that. Of course, there's some things that you absolutely need for like human sustenance, like stomach and all that other stuff like that. But as I went through all of the many things that I do, teaching, preaching, starting with church, because that's where I always start, with my business, sitting down with families, explaining to them financial concepts and teaching them and helping them get themselves sorted out, recording for the Triple Cart podcast, playing video games, my leisure time, doing this, whatever you want to call this. It's not podcasting. It's halfway to being I think it's kind of like halfway to being a radio show, but there's not actually radio, and I'm not interesting enough to be on a radio show, so it's not a radio show, but something. It's definitely something. I'm just not quite sure how to quantify what this is, but it's something. But when I do this, or just my general interactions with other human beings, I realized that I could embody Dr. Arliss Lovelace, and no one would. I mean, obviously, it'd be kind of. But okay, first of all, Dr. Arliss Lovelace, for people who haven't seen this movie, first of all, go see this movie. It's a great movie. It's called Wild Wild West, and it came out, I believe, in the year 1990, so it's just as old as I am. And it has Kevin Kline and Will Smith in it, and the main villain, and it's a Western, and it's all about the end of the Confederacy, and this evil mad genius who kidnaps a bunch of scientists and makes this a gigantic robotic spider to wreak havoc on the United States and try and split it up into different countries and nations. It's kind of an absurd plot and kind of an absurd movie, but it's a very fun movie to watch. And the biggest reason for that movie being so fun to watch is because of the villain, and I maintain this on everything. Whenever you watch, or whenever you partake in any sort of media which tells a story which is not particularly based in fact, the driving force of that story is the villain, the source of conflict. So, sorry, I have to communicate with other people. Sorry. So the driving force of whatever sort of story that is the villain, or the antagonist in proper literary terms, the antagonist. And so the antagonist in this particular movie is Dr. Arliss Lovelace, and he is a explosives expert from the Civil War who had, metallurgy and explosives, who was trying to create special tanks, like tanks in the Civil War. And like I said, it's a very absurd concept for a movie. But just kind of run with it for me. Just kind of run with me with this topic for a moment. It's a very difficult sentence to say, believe it or not. Anyway, so he's there, and he's in the Civil War, and he blows himself up, basically. And as a result, he loses his entire lower half. So yeah, he's there's a lot of jokes that go around about being only half a man and all that sort of stuff like that. But I realized that as long as I had sort of his little wheelchair with the motor on it, and it's a steam engine wheelchair, he can be fully functioning to do basically everything that I need to do in my life. And I'm like, I could reasonably exist for the remainder of my life in that state. Yeah. I could be Dr. Arliss Lovelace. I could have a little motorized wheelchair, be just half a person, cut myself right off at the waist, and do everything else that I do normally, which is kind of terrifying to think about, to realize that there's like a whole half of your body that's not necessary. And I understand this is one of those crazy thoughts just that comes to me. I'm like, why in the world would I even be thinking about this in the first place? And I assume you all are at this point as well, and you're probably clicking off the video because this is just bullcrap, and I don't even know what I'm talking about, and I'm distracting myself by trying to do two things at once, and it's not working out very well. But the point here is like, is it okay to live like this, or is like it's not to say that it's like just there, but I mean, I have two legs, and I'm not really using them for much of anything. I mean, exercising and keeping in shape, but in terms of like function, I mean, I understand there's walking, but like as long as I had like the little motorized car, it wouldn't be that different. I don't, like I said, I don't know why I thought about this. I don't even know why I thought this would make a good topic, because the more I think about it, the more absurd and just stupid it becomes. But it kind of goes back to the first video I did last week, and I was talking about how I don't have any practical skills. Like I said, I've never been particularly good at sports or understanding how technology works, and so I've never really developed anything other than, hand-eye coordination, knowing what I'm doing with my hands without really even looking at them. Through video games, if anyone's curious. I mean, it should be fairly obvious, but it's kind of one of my skills. And the other one is speaking in words and things like that. And it just kind of bugs me, I guess, that it's like, okay, I have potential, which is not being utilized. There are things that I could be doing, and that's the ice cream truck outside my door, in case you couldn't figure that one out. No, I will not be getting ice cream. Wow, that was loud. Why are you here at this time today? Anyway, so it's like there's potential there, and it's not being utilized. It's like, okay, well, I don't even know what I could use it for. I mean, it's just like they're legs. They help me get from place to place. True, but there are to a certain extent, I could even just cut out mobility. I mean, it's like there comes a certain point in doing what I do business-wise and for income and money and things, where I don't even have to move from a particular place. I could actually have people come to me. I don't do that because it's more considerate to. I think it's more considerate to actually like meet people where they are. But I could totally do that. I'd be like, nope, you're coming here. I mean, and I said, well, you need your legs for driving. Okay, I understand that. But right now I don't really have a car. And within the last week or so, things have picked up so much in my business that it's like, well, don't get your hopes up. We're not to that point yet. We're not getting the new computer next week. But there have been some things that have picked up quite a bit in my business. And the car, at least, is probably not too far away. The computer I'm not sure about yet, but the car I can definitely see coming in within the next month or so, provided everything that has started finishes properly. Cannot account for people. People is the craziest peoples, and they just don't know what they're doing half the time. And that's not being negative towards them. It's just that people don't know what they don't know, and so you have to educate them and hope they make the right decisions from there. But yeah, such is my struggle. Mein Kampf. I'm so sorry. For the German folks, you got that for the German people, you understand. Not that there's anyone who's watching this who's from Germany. I know because I checked my analytics. I think I had one German person come in for about half a second on one video and never come back. It's interesting. But for the German folks, do you know that means that it just means that those two words just mean my struggle? But it's also the title of Adolf Hitler's book, and so you're not supposed to say that. Forget it. It's German, and I know a bit of another language, and so I feel compelled, not inclined. Well, I guess inclined and compelled to demonstrate that at strange moments in the day, and then talk about it for 20 minutes. When that's not really the point at all. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I should have been much more focused on this. I should have dedicated more time to this, and more thought process, and more focus, and just better concentration. But I didn't, and I'm sorry for that. I guess the main point of today is, what body part do you think you could get away with without having? I mean, just like, I've had it all my life. Not really utilizing it. There's not really any point to having it here. If you feel like answering that question, please put it in the comments down below. If you liked this video, if you thought it wasn't like the most completely insane bunch of ramblings to ever come across your computer screen, then yes, please leave a like rating down below. If you did think this was the most complete, inane, and utterly mindless collection of ramblings to come across your computer screen, then leave a dislike rating and a nasty comment telling me all about that. I thank you all for watching. I hope that tomorrow will be more cohesive, that my brain will be in a better place, and I'll be less distracted by many other things. I will see you all next time. Goodbye.